I reported not long ago on a major issue for Ford. That is people buying Tesla vehicles instead of Ford's electric Mustang Mach E. Why are they doing that? Well, because they actually placed pre-orders for the Mustang Mach E, but it took so long for Ford to get them their vehicles that they gave up and eventually ordered the Tesla Model Y. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. Now, the same problem has reared its head again. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. Fantastic to have you here on the channel again. Now, I hope you've had an amazing 2021. Been a fantastic journey sharing this year with you. And you know what? Let's all have an amazing 2022. Today, it's actually New Year's Eve. It's happening in about 8 hours until the clock ticks over and we hit 2022. Now, I want to say a big shout out to my Patreon supporters of the channel. You have made everything possible. I owe a whole lot to you and I really appreciate your support. I'll put a link in the description below to our Patreon channel. If you want to get on and support the channel, I would be absolutely stoked to have you. Now, Ford Mustang Mach E production in China has been impacted as the COVID lockdown in Xi'an affects Ford's battery supply. Same thing's happening to BYD, unfortunately. COVID shutdown is affecting BYD, and obviously BYD makes batteries for Ford. So we've got some issues here for Ford and potentially for BYD, who actually increased their vehicle sales by 10,000, electric vehicle sales by 10,000 for 6 straight months. Is that in danger this month? It could be, but fortunately for BYD, they actually have, well, they've built an additional 6 battery factories this year alone, so maybe it won't be too much of an issue for them. For Ford, on the other hand, it's definitely an issue. Now, for Ford, the timing of the delivery of its first electric vehicle in China, the Mustang Mach E, could not have been worse. Now, Ford's joint venture in China, Chang'an Ford, has announced that vehicle deliveries to some customers will be delayed because of a temporary shutdown at a plant of its partner that supplies batteries for the Mustang Mach E, according to an announcement shared today by autohome.com.cn. Now, the battery plant is located in the northwestern Chinese city of Xi'an, which was recently closed due to a COVID-19 outbreak. And 6 field engineers for the Ford Mustang Mach E program have been quarantined in the city, according to the announcement. Now, when the Chinese government closes places down, they really close them down. You get basically locked in your house under house arrest. This is not always the case, but sometimes the case, and it can be pretty draconian, I think. Now, the announcement said, it is inevitable that the Mustang Mach E production will be affected to some extent, and that deliveries to some customers will be delayed as a result. The Ford Mustang Mach E team is currently working closely with our battery partner and will resume production and deliveries as soon as the outbreak subsides to minimize the impact. Now, this is actually pretty bad for Ford. The reason I say that is because they have had a challenging year. Now, the CEO, Jim Farley, he's doing the right things. Don't get me wrong. Ford are saying the right things and wanting to do the right things. Now they've had a change of heart. They've seen how much demand there is for the Ford F150 Lightning pickup truck. By the way, I just made a video about that thing. Apparently, it could have up to 470 miles of range. That's unbelievable if that's true. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. So, what else has happened for Ford this year? Well, people have tried to go into dealers and buy Mustang Mach E's in the United States, and dealers have said, yeah, you can have one, but not for this long, or we're going to charge you an extra $10,000, or made it hard for them, and then they've called Ford executives, head office, and the executives say it's just easier to buy a Tesla, just go buy a Tesla. All kinds of shenanigans have happened. Obviously, like I said before, there's an owners group website for China for the Mustang Mach E, and a very large percentage of them actually went and bought a Tesla Model Y because they waited so long and they couldn't get their Mach E's. So really, it is kind of getting to be a brand issue here for Ford, where if you're a Ford fan and you continually get sort of let down in some way, eventually you will just go to another brand. That's what people do. Now, the crazy thing is, this comes just 4 days after the Mustang Mach E's first delivery was made in China. Ford officially launched the locally produced Mustang Mach E electric vehicle in China in April of this year, and after months and months and months of waiting, local deliveries began on December the 26th, 1 day after Christmas. Now, in China, the Mustang Mach E that's been delivered so far was primarily the rear-wheel drive model, the long-range version with a guide price of 309,900 RMB. Now, Chang'an Ford's announcement didn't mention the name of its battery supply, but we know that those batteries are actually blade batteries, batteries supplied by BYD. Now, Ford didn't use BYD's signature blade battery based on their lithium iron phosphate technology, but they used their 811 ternary lithium battery, which I think was a colossal mistake. Ford, what were you thinking? The blade battery is the best thing about BYD's cars. Unbelievable, baffling to me that they would have gone down that route. Maybe the vehicles would have had a little bit less range, but if you can charge your vehicle to 100% consistently rather than 80%, then really the range isn't actually shorter in the long run. And if the battery lasts for 3 times as long, anyway. On December the 23rd, iAutodaily.com reported that BYD's plant in Xi'an, which was locked down due to the new COVID-19 outbreak, has officially been shut down. The lockdown started at 12 p.m. on December the 23rd, 2021. And everyone was banned from leaving the city in principle, except for core personnel who ensure the city's functioning. So you can see literally house lockdown. Now, this Xi'an plant is one of BYD's most important bases, where some versions of the popular sedan, the Quin, the Qin, as well as all models of the compact SUV Song series are produced, according to iAutodaily.com. Now, in addition to that, CLS.cn quoted BYD sources as saying the outbreak has had some impact on the production at BYD's Xi'an campus, and that it is actively responding. I don't know what actively responding means. If it's shut down, it's shut down. There's not much they can do. However, it's worth considering this, right? BYD has operations in Xi'an making passenger cars, commercial vehicles, electronics, rail transportation, buses, and batteries, and it actually produced 55,000 vehicles. Now, interestingly, Ford's previous battery supplier in China was BYD, but Ford is saying now they're going to get additional batteries from CATL, who are, of course, the world's largest battery company, and they are located in China as well. CATL has started supplying us, said a Ford China executive on December the 7th. This is the first time Ford has confirmed that CATL was now one of its battery cell suppliers. CATL said the details would be determined by the customer's response, according to the report. So in other words, it looks as though Ford and CATL haven't exactly ironed out everything that's going on in terms of their relationship. But anyway, as you can see here, another little issue for Ford, another hiccup. Hopefully they can get things right and just smash out 2022, because I know that they want to make more electric cars, and I believe that they will actually eventually succeed, but hopefully in the process they don't lose too many customers. Thanks for watching the channel, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye.